Okay, so the Health Club is brought to you by Lipton Tea and Voltic Natural Mineral Water. Joining me in the studio this morning, I have Dr. Mafo Beng, and we're going to be talking about alcohol abuse. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
The statistics in the video, a bit shocking, and some of the effects of alcohol also a bit shocking. But in your professional capacity, are they accurate?
Very much so. Very much so. Because alcohol is legal, it's the problem that nobody thinks about. We tend to focus on things like marijuana, heroin, and so on and so forth. But when we're talking about the disease burden of psychoactive substances, of drugs, alcohol is actually the one that has the highest disease burden. This crosses both the psychiatric field and the medical field.
Medical, right.
Yeah.
Okay, now when is it that you would term it as alcohol abuse?
Okay. There are several forms of alcohol abuse. We have what we call harmful use, and we have alcohol dependence, what colloquial people refer to as alcoholism. Harmful use is when you continue to drink despite knowing that you're having certain harmful effects to yourself.
Okay.
So you're having ulcers, you're having liver disease, you're having cancers, but you continue to drink regardless of the fact that you're having this harmful use.
Right.
For alcoholism or alcohol dependence, there's an easy screening tool that is used. It's called the CAGE questionnaire.
Okay.
So C, it's an mnemonic, so CAGE.
Mm-hmm.
C is cut down. Have you ever felt the need to cut down? Or anybody advised you to cut down in the past? A, do you get angry when people talk about your drinking habits or defensive?
Right.
G, do you sometimes feel guilty about how much you drink? And E is an eye-opener. An eye-opener is a drink you take early in the morning so that you can start your day to stave off the withdrawal effects you're about to start.
Okay.
So I think another term that they use for eye-opener, which sounds much better, is appetite.
Aha.
So you wake up in the morning, you need your appetite before you have your breakfast.
Right. Okay, now let's go through a bit of the medicine then. How is it that alcohol actually affects the human physiology?
That's a heavy question, because alcohol is toxic to every cell in the body.
Okay.
But the reason people drink it is for its effects on the brain. It causes disinhibition, so it allows you to do the things that you couldn't do normally.
Right.
There's a pretty girl, you could never get the confidence to talk to her about
Dutch courage.
Or Irish courage, whichever country drinks more. So then you go, you talk to her, and then you're feeling, yes, this alcohol was good.
Yep.
You know, your mother-in-law is annoying, you can never tell her off directly to her face, but you get some alcohol, it's good. There's some people get what we call euphoria. You just feel happy for no apparent reason. So you see them, they're drinking and they're just laughing.
Yeah.
There's no particular joke, but they're just laughing, that sort of thing. Those are the major effects for which people drink. Now, in an attempt to chase this feeling, they drink more. And what happens when you drink more is then you have the worst effects. You have impaired judgment. That's when people start thinking they are Superman and they start jumping off roofs.
Yeah.
They start crossing roads without looking left and right because they don't think they are destructible.
Yeah.
Also, they mentioned suicide there. If you are already on the brink of suicide, you are depressed and you are drinking to feel better, once you get to the point of impaired judgment, now there's nothing stopping you from killing yourself. Mm-hmm. You now have the freedom to kill yourself as you feel. So those are the major effects on the mind. Then there's the liver. The liver processes all the alcohol. It damages it in the process. You get cirrhosis, which can lead to cancer. It causes cancers of the throat, the mouth. It causes heart disease. It aggravates hypertension. It increases the risk of strokes.
It's a major killer.
Yes, and it's also indicated in a lot of homicides and, as we mentioned earlier, suicide.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous drug.
Okay, now just so that we wrap things up ever so quickly, I mean, we live in a society whereby there are so many local brews of alcohol. Some I've even witnessed are even diluted with gin.
Yeah.
Meaning that they're above 100% proof. How is it that we can curb such a blatant abuse of alcohol? Because I mean that's really what it is.
Oh, that's a heavy question. That's a heavy question.
Another one.
Like your introductory piece mentioned, taxation has been sort of effective in some countries. Prohibition is a dicey area because it's an issue of people's choice against protecting the people. And then people say, well, I don't know whether you tried the drink that was cut with the gin, but you wouldn't then go on and say because you had that once, you have a problem with alcohol. So it's a funny thing that policy workers need to get the fine balance on. But the usual method is through taxation and some element of prohibition.
Okay, but in general, a lot more public education is
a lot more public education because it has this pleasant image. You know, you see the ads and the attractive women.
Yeah, they make it look cool.
There's nobody with a pot belly and this thing jaundice, who has heart problems and about to die from a stroke. Who is the actual person who's consuming that thing? You know, the person who looks so nice and all that stuff. He's a casual user. He's not really the people that are funding the advert. The people that are funding the adverts can't live normal lives. So, as a feature of dependence, you can't focus on your work. You can't focus on your family. You can't focus on your children. You can't focus on anything else in your life but how to get the substance in your life. So these are very low productivity people. They can't do all the things that they were supposed to do because their whole life is focused on the drink. To the point where some people start off with gin, they can start off with Remy Martin, all sorts of expensive drinks, but by the time they're going properly into alcoholism, they're drinking apateshi.
Just to get there.
And they won't even cut it with the gin because they need the hit. So a lot more public education needs to be done on it. A lot more awareness needs to be about the dangers of alcohol abuse, and we need to be more proactive about it.
Okay, Doc, we've only had a short amount of time, but thank you so much for coming in and teaching us more about alcohol abuse. This has been Dr. Marfo Obeng, and we've been talking about alcohol abuse. And let's not forget that the segment is brought to you by Lipton Tea, inspiration flowing from nature, and Baltic Natural Mineral Water.